Here we go, day 5 of the 25 days of Christmas, and we're talking Gordon Malloy, Scott Grimes. Here we go. Yes, we've embarked on a journey across time and space, doing 25 days of Orville, kind of picking one thing each day about the Orville that a character, ships, different episodes, different things that I definitely like about the Orville. We're kind of highlighting each one each day. So that's the whole 25 days up until Christmas. I think I have my list almost all filled in. Where are we here? Let's see. Click on this. Okay, switch screens. There we go. Okay, so we're getting down. We've got 21, 22, 23. I've got 4 things that I can put in here still that I'm building on this list. So suggestions are welcome. I've already added some of your suggestions. Thank you so much. I very appreciate your comments and your suggestions. But today we're talking about Scott Grimes and his role as Lieutenant Gordon Malloy. So what I typically am doing, right, is I'm heading over to IMDb, kind of looking at what we've seen from Scott Grimes. So we have, let's see, of course, we know he's on the Orville, he's on Family Guy, American Dad, so he definitely has a relationship with Seth MacFarlane. And so that's obviously why, way back to American Dad 2005. There may be some earlier ones that he's done with him, but they definitely get along. So obviously bring in your friends, bring all your friends in, and keep them employed. He did do way back when a small, tiny, uncredited role in Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think I've found the footage of that on YouTube somewhere. I think it was cut from the final version, but somehow part of it got out there, and all that. Another thing that my wife, Mrs. Tech Show, just loves is the film The Night They Saved Christmas. So and he is in that. I got to jump over to some photos here. So let's go to where are we? We're here, and we're going to pull up this picture right here. So this is him very young. When was this? This was in 1984, and he was born in 1971. So he's like 13 years old in this film. It's just a fun, Christmas film, but he started early and has since been very prolific. So let's get started here. We first meet Gordon. He's in the simulator, and we kind of get the fact, get right up front that maybe he's going to be kind of a little bit of the comic relief for the show. That he's going to, bring some of that extra comedy to the show, which he does. I mean, through most of the show, here they're going to the ship. He's like, "Hey, I'm drinking a beer. Don't touch my beer, man." As they're heading to the ship. Adding more comedy in there. He's in the Krill episode. He just kept commenting, and the whole, Avis Hertz thing was hilarious. Your God's Avis, our God's Hertz. We try harder. Just keep continuing to add that stuff into the show. He seems to be kind of one of the characters that a lot of the other characters can bounce information off of, which is kind of nice. And he adds kind of that wacky, completely objective perspective to some things in the episodes, and it really adds a lot to it. Oops, that's that picture. Then we have an episode, I think this was, what episode was this? This is Blood of Patriots, I do believe, where he meets his old friend, and then in the end, he has to then decide that his allegiance to the new crew and everybody in the new crew is way more important, which of course it's going to be. But how you battle with that. It's a common thing. Like, you have friends from the past and you have your friends now, and your friend from the past comes in and says, "Hey, let's go hang out. Let's do things. And you may not want to do that. And how do you separate that in relationships and, bringing, with your old friends and new friends. How do you separate that? How do you put a balance to that? You know, especially if you know, like maybe you left your old friends because they were doing something that was not good. Like a lot of people come from, their youth from, drugs and alcohol, and maybe you're not doing that anymore. And they're going to try and drag you back in. Well, that's a bad influence. You don't want to do that to yourself. So you have to try and separate that and stay with your friends, kind of thing. This is an extreme because the one was kind of a terrorist. But anyway, that's kind of a theme through the show. Then we get the episode Lasting Impressions. And here Gordon just, the emotion depth and stuff that he's able to bring through this. Everywhere else he's the rest of the show. See, this is later in the second season. The rest of the episodes and stuff, pretty much he's, a lot of the comic relief. And I was really glad to see in this episode, Lasting Impressions, where he's really shows he's got a heart and that he is really being touched by something and really affected by something. And through that, it affects the audience. It affects us as the audience. And this is definitely one of my favorite episodes, how he gets into that and recreates everything and just connects with someone, through music and what their life was and how they were, and everything. And as you get to know somebody, kind of thing. So I just loved that episode. And at the end, they're singing, and he gets to, show his audio singing, his voice singing ability, which was just awesome. I do some singing at my church and stuff from time to time, and I really, really enjoy that. And stuff. So that kind of connected with me. It's like, being up on a stage, and kind of performing in front of people and stuff really, really touched me in the whole thing. Then towards the very end of the season, in The Road Not Taken, we get back to a little bit of the comedy. They go and steal a food replicator, and the first thing he, of course, makes is a Twinkie. And we get the little grungier, grimier Scott Grimes and stuff, and just adds that other dimension that they really went with everybody being the grimy stuff, the grimier, more grittier Gordon Malloy. Okay, I think that's all my pictures. Then we're back to the beginning. Okay, so that's Gordon Malloy, Scott Grimes, definitely a favorite. He does bring a lot of the comedy to the show, a lot of that, and I'm sure that's kind of why Seth MacFarlane has put him into the show and has them in a lot of his other comedy shows, even though they're, animated, but still really brings a big piece, to the show. It's kind of, and the comedy is kind of laxed off a little bit in season 2, which season 1, it was a lot of him just spraying out and having different, quips and stuff during the show, and now it's kind of calmed down a little bit in this part of the show in the second season, which I'm really liking. I like the comedy. The comedy's good because people in our daily lives were, and that was one thing I think that was missing really in a lot of Star Trek. There was campy kind of straight-laced comedy, but in daily lives, we're scrolling through Facebook, we're scrolling through Twitter, whatever we're doing, social media and everything. And we've got all these memes, the two ladies and the cat, right? They're doing something. It's comedy. A lot of our lives are comedy. We need that inside the show. And he provides that and is still able to provide some really deep, heartfelt moments. Just really love his character. I had heard that him and Adrienne Palicki they got married and they filed for divorce, but I heard they were getting back together. I'm hoping that's true. I don't like people getting divorced. I myself been, Mrs. Texio and I we're about halfway through 27 years. So, maybe he's talked to Penny Johnson-Gerald and said, listen, you can work this out, because they've been together for 37 years, right? So I'm hoping for that in the future for them. So, and just, keep them, if it breaks bad, then maybe one of them would have to leave the show, and that's definitely not what I want. I'm all about the show. I want the relationship to stay in real life, but let's keep the show on the air. All right. Okay, well, that's Scott Grimes, Gordon Malloy. Like we're on day 5, and of course we got many days left to go. So just stay tuned. This will be links to everything will be on Twitter, and YouTube and on the website. I'm going to try today. I think I'm really going to try and put the list up on the website, so which is tomstechshow.com. So just head over there. These episodes are also being posted to BitChute, so they're automatically pushed over there. So if you're on BitChute, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing on BitChute and everything else and all that. So this has been fun, and it's going to continue. All right, we got 20 more days to go. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.